and welcome to another video from eDub Services, the conversion shop for classic camper vans, turning them into 100% electric. Let me just grab my coffee. Very important prop. Welcome to part 3 of our split screen electric conversion video. This is the incredible Daisy, and it's actually, I think, the 3rd split screen camper van that we've had here at eDub HQ, but it's given us an incredible opportunity to refine and now launch our latest electric conversion offering to these fabulous vehicles, and it's compatible with such a wide variety. So we're going to go deep into, in this particular video, some of the technology that's actually gone into the conversion. What you see before you is a fully functional, in the phases of final testing, electric conversion. So this is the really exciting part of the conversion, where we spend so long pulling everything together, coming up with the concepts, trialing, erroring, redesigning, and then coming to what you see before you, a really, really incredible finished product. This is part 3, so if you haven't seen part 1 or part 2, part 1 we went over what made the charm of these vehicles so really incredible, and we did a bit of driving with the original engine by comparison. And part 2 is we looked at the some of the kind of modern conveniences that we were putting into the system, whereas now you can see them fully functioning. And what we'll probably do is a 4-parter, so this is the penultimate episode. The 4-parter will be a lot of the experience of what it's like to actually use in the real world. And we'll probably do a comparison video with this particular conversion against the previous generation of our electric conversions, which we'll see in our red camper van, and then the previous version to that as well in our green camper van Indy. So you'll be able to see the kind of evolution of the technology. But the really exciting thing in this video is we're going to take a look at the conversion kit itself. Right behind me, you might be able to see another camper that's receiving the same conversion with a different generation, and that's a really big deal. So without further ado, sit back, grab yourself a coffee, and let's get stuck into it. So this particular conversion is a camper van conversion, and it's had a few adaptations over the years. So things like traditionally a split screen camper would have a bulkhead over the front. This has been created to have a walkthrough. It's got the absolute fantabulous, I'm going to go with it, fantabulous interior. It's got a rock and roll rusty lee bed in the back, one of our preferred methods if you're wanting to sleep out and about with your camper van. It's got a gorgeous roof rack on top. I love these. I'm not sure how practical they are, in my personal opinion. I'm not sure I'd want to put all my luggage up on the roof where I can't see it, but I think they look great. I would have one just for the aesthetics to see how it looks. You've got buddy fold-down seat in here, really decent cabinet here, and we've converted the top of the cabinet, as we mentioned in our previous video. We've now got an induction hob system, and I'm going to go more into that in a little bit. Such an amazing system. But the interior here is honestly spot on perfect. You've got gorgeous headlining, so the fresh air system that's coming through in the split screens is staying. We're not going to touch that at all. That'll still get you fresh air in, but then we are adding heating and air conditioning into the cab system as well. So for those days when recently here we've had it rather warm, having air conditioning would be quite nice. And there are obviously days in the English countryside where it's not quite so warm, so having high voltage heating straight into the cab is a really, really great feature. But we've tried to, as we've mentioned in previous videos, we've tried not to touch any of this. This should stay original. So for your camper van, or if you're looking to get a split screen camper van with electric power, this should be what you want it to be. You shouldn't have to come into this space and say, oh, I really love an induction hob, but you can't have it because of the electric conversion. Or I'd really love to have a rock and roll bed, but you can't have it because we've got to put batteries under there. That's not what eDub is all about. This space here should be what you want out of your camper van, but also to get you the best experience from the countless VW interior fabric work conversion specialists out there. They don't want to have to be compromising for the kind of conversion systems that we're doing either. So that means with an eDub conversion, you can go to any interior specialist and they'll be able to get you what you want, absolutely no problem. So another thing we touched on in the last video, but you can see it here in completion, there's obviously a few changes here in the front cab. Some of them are really subtle, like the dials that are up there showing your state of charge and your motor temperature and your speedo, things like that. But also obviously no gear stick anymore. Now, we've had a couple of people feedback to us about how they would like the gear stick to be reintegrated. We had this in our Porsche conversions where you have a physical shifter down where the gear shift used to be for forwards and reverse. And I just wanted to mention, take this opportunity to say, that type of technology is quite an aesthetic choice and is therefore incredibly easy to implement. So some customers, like this one, they really like that there's no gear stick at all because they can get better access from the front seats into the back. The actual spacing is much nicer without having a big gear stick in the way. Now, if you're more one of those people that wants those kind of similar touch points, you want to be able to have a gear shifter that can move forwards and backwards, that's really easy for us to implement. So make sure you mention that when you get in touch. There's also a few other areas like our throttle pedal has been replaced. Obviously, the clutch pedal has disappeared as well. But things like the handbrake are all original. Now, the brake system is all original, but what we've done is we've picked up off on how the brakes operate, and that's been picked up off the drive unit, the motor and system, inverter system that are in the back. So when you press on the brakes, that's actually sending obviously compressing the original brakes, but it's sending a digital signal to the motor to turn your regen higher. So you push on the brakes and it feels great. It brakes really well. A lot of that is being done by your drive unit, which means it's more effective. It's braking evenly on either side of the vehicle rather than having unbalanced brakes, putting energy back into your battery pack. And what's really important as well is it's reducing the wear on your brakes. So your brake pads, the perishables, things like that are going to last much, much longer with an eDub conversion.
So one of the coolest features of this new conversion, and it's something that we're rolling out as an option across all of our conversions in the future, is this off-grid power situation. So right now I'm boiling a kettle. I'm not plugged in. It's an induction hob. Just think this through. I'm not plugged into power. I'll show you. Charge port is empty. I have ignition live because I have to turn on the high voltage battery pack, which is under the back down there, but I'm off grid right now. The ignition is turned on. If I was plugged into charge, then that would be again opening up the high voltage battery pack, but right now, boiling a kettle. I've got power down here as well in plug sockets, so if I did need to use it for whatever, I mean, if I've got an awning and I've got an inflatable lilo, you want to pump it up using that, great. You want to recharge your laptop, great, go ahead. You want to power a fancy coffee machine, you can't see it from here, like the one we have here. I'll try that later, make a proper coffee. You can. Right now, powering myself up, getting this hob going. This is on full power right now, and it's using the high voltage power that's in the battery pack that powers the vehicle, 400 volts. And it's using an inverter to change that into AC power to power normal things like the induction hob. In principle, it's an incredibly simple piece of kit, but so few vehicles actually offer this, and a few of the regular vehicles do, but it makes so much more sense in a camper van like this. So here we are, boiling a kettle. Induction hobs are so quick. This is going to whistle like nothing in a second. This is my kettle, but there you are. Kettle boiled, and now I can have my coffee. It's absolutely amazing. Imagine this by the side of a lake. Go to the Lake District, park up in one of those beautiful car parks, looking out over the lake. Put yourself a cup of tea on. No gas, no, just electric power straight from your battery pack. It's absolutely amazing.
So I want to show you how simple this is to drive. We've integrated, again, lots of the original systems, so I'm going to get straight into it. And stay tuned for the next video where we're going to do a lot more about how it actually performs out in the real world. It's still on the key ignition, so turning the key turns the system on. All the dials kind of make noises. The gear selector has got a couple of lights on it to tell you whether you're going forwards or backwards. So first time you turn it on, you have to wait maybe about 10 seconds or so to let that system just do its little pre-checks. Flick it into forwards. You want to spring the ignition, which tells the drive unit that you are actually now ready to drive. Handbrake comes off and you just squeeze down. But be careful how rapid it is. So I'm just going to drive around the yard for the purposes of this. This particular version is having rapid. It has got rapid charging. I wasn't going to talk about that. This particular conversion is going to have power steering as well fitted to it. But I'm getting distracted because I do this kind of thing all the time. The drive is so straightforward. And that's you forget about it so quickly. That's why I'm going off about all sorts of different things, because the drive is not complicated. You think about cold start, so having to get the thing warmed up, or the racket it makes. If you watch the first video, you'll see how loud it was to drive, and that was a pretty good engine. The smell, which yes is nostalgic, but when you've got such a lovely interior like this, that's going to capture all of that smoky smell of the original engine. Not anymore. This kind of system, oh, it's just so smooth. So again, it just turns on, it just goes. If I want to go back, pressing on the brakes, that's giving me physical brakes, but it's telling the drive unit to slow down as well. Just switch it into reverse, dead easy, back into forwards again, off you go. I mean, it's rapid as well. Like, you're not going to get a concept from this video, but if I come to a stop, just bring it round so I'm not actually going to crash into anything. It's a bit early morning here at the unit, so there's not quite as many people as you want there to be, which is quite good. So if I'm down and stopped, then I want to go. It's got a ramp rate built into it. So it's intelligently creating a loop. So you can't just floor it and break your neck. I've got no headrest. But if I need that speed, if I'm at a roundabout, if I'm at a junction, I'm not sure, I need to get out nice and quick, there I go. I've got it if I really need it. And that, for practical driving, is the most important thing. Again, the other systems all work fine. We've got LED upgrades and all of this. Oh, the lights look incredible on the dash. I'm going to have to stop to do all this because I need to pay attention. When you're turning the dash lights on with the original, you can't see in this light. I'll get it into a darker situation. We've got beautiful classic LED dials that are lighting up to show you the different information that you need. We've got a decent stereo system in here. All of your original stuff is all still working really, really fine. But so it means you can stop worrying. You don't have to worry about the vehicle. You just turn it on and you go where you want to go, and it feels great. And you can have a conversation because you're not got this horrible noise, this horrible din. It is honestly the most fun to drive, and it's one of those things where it allows you to switch off from the worry and genuinely smile while you're enjoying the experience. I absolutely love it. So here's the crown jewel of eDub conversions, and the work that we do to electrify classic camper vans is the electric conversion system itself. And here we go. In the rear, this is now a universal single box battery pack. So if you've seen our previous videos, it consisted of 2 or 3 battery boxes throughout the vehicle to create one complete system. This is all in one piece. So it all fits in this really tidy little unit. It's fixed in and comes in underneath the vehicle. So it assembles very similar to how the original engine was removed, which is really simply, and you can kind of do it with a jack and trolley and a few spanners to get it all in and out. The actual installation system is also incredibly straightforward. So I was able to remove the entire battery box and the subframe and motor system in just over an hour. That's incredible, considering you've got so many different connections and so much going on. And that's what we've been pioneering for the last 18 months or so, is to build something that makes that installation process as easy as possible. What that means is that we can do conversions quicker, which means we can turn around more of these in a shorter time frame and get the vehicles back to their owners for them to be enjoying them. But it also means that we can start expanding internationally with much more simplicity. So having a single battery box like this means that the learning process for other garages, other investors and entrepreneurs in different countries can adapt the eDub system through a licensing model much, much simpler. And that's something that we're going to be pioneering over the next couple of weeks. So if you're watching this from another country, not in the UK, maybe you are in the UK, maybe you're thinking about something over in the States, in Australasia, in other countries like that, then maybe have a conversation with us about how you might be able to be a part of getting systems like this into more vehicles. The other incredible thing about these systems is that they are universal with every classic camper van. Now I'm defining that as 1950 to 1979. So anything split screen like this one here, or anything bay window like the other ones we've worked on, and including the Brazilian models as well. That's a huge range of vehicles that this single battery system and motor system fits into, which means that the investment angle from getting involved, not just for ourselves, but for other investors to get involved with us, rather than just investing in a really niche part of a niche product within a niche market, you're investing in something that can be applicable to so many different areas in terms of so many different vehicles throughout the world. It's such an exciting development, and we're really, really proud of it. Yes, it adds a bit of weight back here, but it's adding maybe 170, 180 kilos to the back here. That's the equivalent of a full back full of luggage. So it's way within the payload of the vehicle. The vehicle's able to carry, I think it's able to carry actually a ton extra from its curb weight on top of that. So an extra 200 kilos maximum makes no difference to how the vehicle performs and the regulations and the strength of that rear vehicle. So you can't see most of the technology, which is kind of deliberate, but it's fancy enough on here. We've got our access panel on the front here, so when we're assembling, we can diagnose and we can assemble the final few bits through that access hatch. And then in these particular vehicles, you can bolt on the bumpers afterwards. We've got our cooling system here on the left-hand side. We've got our own unique electric eDub conversion system, eDub control board on the side there as well. Across the petrol tank shelf along the back is your charger, your DC-DC converter, your motor inverter, and also your AC inverter. Those are some big words. I apologize. There's stuff on the petrol tank shelf, and it's all engineered within precision for simple installation and really, really precise execution as well. So that the end product, as you see before you, is really simple to get to so that we can get it into more hands of customers to enjoy it as much as possible. We're really proud of this. And this year, 2024, is the year that we're going to be launching this to the rest of the world. Let's get as many of these conversions into as many of these classic campers as possible so that we can keep them on the road. They've already had 50 plus years of life of everybody enjoying them. Let's give them another 50. There's no reason why they can't have another 50 years of life with an eDub conversion. Thank you so much for watching this video, part 3 of our electric conversion of the classic, iconic split screen VW camper van. Make sure you stay tuned for part 4. And the best way to do that is to subscribe to the channel. And then when part 4 lands, you'll be notified of it straight away. You know how YouTube works. You don't need me to tell you. Thank you so much again for watching this particular video. If it's piqued your interest at all, then why not head to our website? It's edubconversions.co.uk and have a look around. Download some of our brochures, and you can always get in touch and book a meeting with myself where we'll be able to have a conversation about how we can help to achieve your goals for an electric classic camper van. These are an absolute dream. They are so much fun, and they are based on a legacy of eDub being able to be doing this for the last 10 plus years. And it's great to be able to come to these stages and talk to you guys about the developments that we've made and how it makes these vehicles so much more fun to drive. So if you've been interested in the video, then like and subscribe, but why not share it with someone else that you know? Maybe you know somebody who's got a camper or really wants one, or somebody in the industry who would be interested in talking more with us about this. And again, if you're thinking about being a part of eDub, then we are open to investment conversations as well, whether that's here in the UK or abroad. Please drop us a line and let's have a conversation. Thanks again so much for watching. My name's been Kit Lacey, founder and director of eDub Services, and we'll see you next time.